Black played. On a4, pause the video to figure out white's next move. King d4. King c6. King e5. White intends to play. King e6. King c7. King f7. King d6. King takes g7, and take decisive advantage. King d7 move preferred by black. King d5. White wants to play. King c5. King e7. King takes b5, and seizes the initiative. King e7 move preferred by black. King c6. King f7. King takes b5. King f6. King a6. King g5. On b5. White intends to play. On b6. King takes g4. On b7. King takes f5. On promotes to queen at b8 and dominate the board. On g6 move preferred by black. On takes g6. King takes g6. On b6. King g5. On b7. King f4. On promotes to queen at b8 check. King e4. Black is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. On c5, pause the video and try to find white's next move. Black is aiming to play pawn takes d4 and seize the initiative. Pawn takes c5 move preferred by white. King c6. King e3. White is aiming to play. King d4. King b7. King takes c4 and establish a winning position. King takes c5 move preferred by black. King e4. King c6. King d4. King d6. King takes c4. King e5. King b5. King f4. On c4. King takes g4. On c5. King takes f5. On c6. King g4. On c7. King takes h5. On promotes to queen at c8. White considers playing. Queen f5. King h4. Queen takes f6 and increase their advantage significantly. King g6. Black is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. King d5. Pause the video to find out white's response. King a5. King takes d4. King takes a6. King c5. Black is setting up to play. On b4. On takes b4 check. King takes b4. King b6. On c3. On takes c3 check. King takes c3 and dominate the board. King a5 was chosen by white. On c3. Black is aiming to play pawn takes b2 and dominate the board. On takes c3 was chosen by white. King c4. King b6. King takes c3. King takes b5. King d4. On a4. King e3. On a5. King f2. On a6. King takes g3. On a7. King takes h4. On promotes to queen at a8. White is aiming to play. Queen g2. On g5. Queen takes g5 check and take decisive advantage. King g3. Black's loss is confirmed. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. On g6, pause the video to analyze white's next move. On g5. King c6. King e5. White is preparing to play. King f6. King d5. King takes f7 and establish a winning position. On b4 was chosen by black. King d4. White intends to play pawn takes b4 and gain a significant edge. On takes c3 move preferred by black. Pawn takes c3. King d6. King takes c4. King e6. King c5. King f5. King d5. King takes f4. Pawn c4. King g4. Pawn c5. King takes h4. Pawn c6. King takes g5. Pawn c7. King f4. Pawn promotes to queen at c8. White wants to play queen c7 check. King f3. Queen takes f7 check and dominate the board. On f5 black is outplayed. Let's go to the next game. Black played King h5. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. Black is aiming to play King takes h4 and take decisive advantage. King g3 move preferred by white. On g5. Pawn takes g6. King takes g6. King g4. On f5 check. King f4. White intends to play on b4. On a4. King e5. King f7. King takes f5 and establish a winning position. King h5 was chosen by black. King takes f5. King takes h4. On b4. White wants to play pawn takes a5 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On a4 played by black. King e5. King g4. King takes d5. King g3. King c6. King f3. On d5. King e4. On d6. King d3. On d7. White might go for king takes b5 and secure a stronghold in the game. King d2 was chosen by black. King takes b5. King c3. White has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. Rook e5. Pause the video to spot black's next move. White might go for rook takes e6 and dominate the board. Rook takes e5 played by black. Pawn takes e5. King g5. King g3. King h6. Black intends to play on g5. King f3. King g6. On e4. On f4. On e6. King f6 and take decisive advantage. King f4 was chosen by white. White is planning to play on e6. King g7. King g5. King f8. King takes g6 and take decisive advantage. King g7 move preferred by black. Black wants to play King f7. On e4. Pawn takes e4 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On e4 played by white. White is looking to play pawn takes f5 and take decisive advantage. Pawn takes e4 move preferred by black. King takes e4. King f7. Black wants to play King e6. King d4. On g5 and seize the initiative. King d5 was chosen by white. King e7. King c4. King e6. King b5. On g5. King takes b6. On g4. King takes a5. On g3. King b6. On g2. King c5. Pawn promotes to queen at g1 check. King c4. Black is dominating the board. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. On b4. Pause the video to analyze black's next move. King f5. King h6. On g4. Pawn takes g4 check. King takes g4. King g6. King f4. Black considers playing King e5. King f7. King d5. King e8. King c4. King d7. King takes b4 and secure a strong hold in the game. King f6 move preferred by white. King e4. Black's idea is to play King d5, King e7, King c4, King d7, King takes b4, and secure a strong hold in the game. King e6 was chosen by white. King d4. Black is aiming to play King c3, King d7, King takes b4, and seize the initiative. King d6 played by white. King c4, King c6, King takes b4, King b7, on a5, King b6, on a4, on a3 check. King c4. Black is looking to play on b4, on takes b4, King takes b4, and take decisive advantage. King a5 was chosen by white. King c5. Black considers playing King c4, King b6, on b4, on takes b4, King takes b4, and put immense pressure on the opponent. King a6 move preferred by white. On b4, on takes b4 check. King takes b4. King b7. Black has a strong upper hand. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. Knight c3. Pause the video to analyze black's next move. Bishop takes c3. King takes c3. On takes e4. On takes e4. King f4. Black is looking to play King e3. On g3. King takes e4, and take decisive advantage. King c2 move preferred by white. King takes e4. King d2. King d4. King e2. On e4. On g3. On e3. On h3. King e4. Black wants to play on e5. On g4. On takes g4. On takes g4. King f4, and dominate the board. On g4 move preferred by white. White intends to play pawn takes h5, and seize the initiative. On takes g4 was chosen by black. On takes g4. King f4. King d3. King f3. King d4. On e2. King c5. On e5. King b6. On promotes to queen at e1. King a5. White's loss is confirmed. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. Queen takes f6. Pause the video to spot white's next move. Black is setting up to play Queen h4 check. King g1. Queen takes h6, and put immense pressure on the opponent. On takes f6 played by white. King f8. King g3. King e8. King f4. King d7. King e5. White's idea is to play on d5. King d8. On takes e6. On takes e6. King d6, and take decisive advantage. King c6 move preferred by black. On g3. King c7. On d5. White is looking to play on takes e6. King b6. On takes f7. King c6. On promotes to queen at f8, and gain a significant edge. On takes d5 move preferred by black. King takes d5. King d7. King takes c4. King e6. King c5. King takes f6. King d6. King g5. On c4. King takes h6. On c5. King g5. On c6. King g4. On c7. White intends to play pawn promotes to queen at c8 check, and increase their advantage significantly. King takes g3 move preferred by black. Pawn promotes to queen at c8. On g5 white is clearly ahead. Let's go to the next game. White just played. Bishop takes e5. Pause the video to spot black's next move. White is planning to play bishop b8, king d8, pawn g4, and secure a stronghold in the game. Pawn takes e5 move preferred by black. King takes c4, king d6, pawn h4, pawn h5, king b5, pawn e4. Black is looking to play pawn e3, pawn g4, pawn e2, pawn a6. Pawn takes a 6 check and gain a significant edge. King c4 move preferred by white. King e5, pawn g3, pawn g6, king c5, pawn e3. Black is planning to play pawn e2, king b6. Pawn promotes to queen at e1 and secure a stronghold in the game. Pawn d6 move preferred by white. White is setting up to play pawn d7, king e4. Pawn promotes to queen at d8 and gain a significant edge. King e6 was chosen by black. Pawn a6. White's idea is to play pawn takes b7 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn e2 was chosen by black. Black is preparing to play pawn takes a6 and seize the initiative. Pawn d7 was chosen by white. Pawn promotes to queen at e1. Black is looking to play queen a5 check, king c4. Pawn takes a6 and increase their advantage significantly. Pawn promotes to queen at d8 played by white. Queen c3 check, king b5. Pawn takes a6 check, king takes a6. Queen c6 check, king a7. Queen d7 check. Queen takes d7 check. King takes d7. King b6. King d6. Black intends to play king e5, king c5, king e4, king d6, king f3, king e6, king takes g3 and increase their advantage significantly. King b7 move preferred by white. King d5, king c7, king e4, king d6, king f3, king e5, king takes g3, king f6, king takes h4, king takes g6. Black is clearly ahead. Let's go to the next game.